Hello and good morning. It's Thursday, April 17th. Welcome in. Glad you're all stopping by for today's edition of the Daily Brief. If you can't tell, April 17th today is Leif Snyder's birthday. It is Leif Snyder Appreciation Day. Great proclamation made by the city of Minot again. Make sure you check out our show later. We'll be going more in depth on that. Today in history, though, got a couple fun things. In 1907, the Ellis Island Immigration Center processes 11,747 people in a single day, more than at any other time and any other day in their history. Massive amount of people going through Ellis Island. In 1961, the Bay of Pigs invasion took place. A group of Cuban exiles, financed and trained by the CIA, lands at the Bay of Pigs in Cuba with the aim of ousting Fidel Castro, and they received no backup from the U.S. military, and it was immediately crushed, unfortunately. Back to the Dakota date book. I love this thing. April 8th or 17th, Dr. John Ingstad, today in history, was the first time that an X-ray machine was used in the state of North Dakota. It came around in mid-1890s. In 1898, Dr. John Ingstad in Grand Forks used it. He completed a successful wrist surgery with it, and no one looked back in the state after that. Moving on to some headlines, though. Got some good stuff from the last day or two. Big one for us yesterday. We had a big update on the Dunseith debacle. Joe Jacobson, Ed Pearson, a couple of big national Boeing MAX whistleblowers. We had them on a podcast earlier back in December, and they came together earlier this month and put together a letter to send to the NTSB to encourage some kind of action on this situation. They linked a wave of new flight control incidents and crashes to a massive gyroscope scandal that is based in Dunseith. The retired Boeing and FAA whistleblowers say tens of thousands of critical aerospace components may have been fraudulently re-entered into global supply chains from a shuttered factory, posing threats to commercial jets, military aircraft, and possibly space systems. The letter raises urgent questions for the FAA, Pentagon, and North Dakota officials accused of stalling action. Big one here in Minot yesterday. A suspect was arrested in a domestic assault incident. Minot Daily News has that one in depth, but Minot police arrested a 37-year-old Tyrone Darnell West on Wednesday morning after a woman reported that he assaulted her, and there was a child present as well. West was taken into custody following a search warrant execution and now faces multiple Class C felony charges, including domestic violence, felonious restraint, and terrorizing, but the investigation does remain ongoing, so make sure you check that one out as well. A couple state things that happen. The North Dakota House approves change to the state health insurance plan. So the North Dakota House passed Senate Bill 2160 on a 55-37 vote, advancing a plan to shift state employee insurance to the Affordable Care Act compliant model. Supporters say the change offers cost-saving flexibility and expanded benefits like preventative care coverage. Critics warn it could pave the way for state employees to start having to pay premiums, a major break from the current policy. The bill now heads to the Senate for concurrence amid growing concerns from agencies and lawmakers about long-term impacts on workforce retention and state budgets. So another one we've been following this week. Then earlier this week, Governor Armstrong signs two bills affecting North Dakota political communications and advertising into law. Governor Armstrong signed two new bills aiming at curbing misinformation in North Dakota politics. Starting August 1st, all political ads generated using artificial intelligence will require a bold, capitalized disclaimer under House Bill 1167. Meanwhile, Bill 1204 makes it a Class A misdemeanor to knowingly or recklessly spread false political information, including via texts, phone calls, and social media. Lawmakers said the changes are meant to protect election integrity in an age of AI and viral disinformation. So interesting one there, especially with last year's Republican primary for House. Right on the day of the primary, there was a text message that was sent out. It was pretty controversial with that whole situation. This is something that can hopefully change that from happening again in the future. Another one to touch on, though, ethics commissioners say bill would impose arbitrary cutoff for investigations. The North Dakota Ethics Commission says legislative changes that were approved this week, particularly a new 180-day deadline to resolve complaints, could force it to close unresolved cases, including 17 involving lawmakers. Executive Director Rebecca Brinstock and commissioner members argued the timeline is arbitrary, undermines investigations, and may even violate the state constitution. With 28 cases already past the deadline, commissioners fear stalling tactics could allow ethics violations to go unpunished. A final decision on the bill heads to a conference committee where the commission will push to restore lost staff funding and strip out policy provisions. So, a couple big headlines in the news. We'll have a lot more coming out today. Make sure you follow along at MyDecodin. If you want to check out the articles that I mentioned today, same thing, MyDecodin.com. We have the Daily Brief article up there. Make sure you stick around today at the Decodin. We will have an ND Talk special. We, I believe, have Rob Fuller and Lisa Hermosillo coming on with us today. We're going to discuss LAIF, some things around the state. It's going to be a really good conversation. Then make sure you stay informed with us. Stay subscribed, liked, follow us, all the things. Make sure you hit the bell notification on YouTube so you know every day we're going live. Every day it's hopefully 7:30 when this video comes out. And as always, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate every one of you, and have a great day.